Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's do the full review of this Realme X2, which was launched about 10 days ago. And I've been actually testing this one for almost 11 days now. So I'll give you my opinion and I'll divide it between the pros and cons. And guys, to get an idea, an overview about this device, watch my unboxing video because I won't go in every aspect of this device. And as I said in my unboxing, this is actually very similar to the Realme XT. You could say this is the upgraded version of the Realme XT. So let's break it down between the pros and cons. But before that, here are the specs for the Realme X2. And as you can see, it's having a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED screen, and it's powered with the new Snapdragon 730G SoC. And it comes with the 30-watt fast hook charger, and also has the quad camera setup and a 32-megapixel front-facing camera. So now let's break it down between pros and cons. Let's look at the pros first. And again, guys, very similar to other Realme devices, I would say, in terms of looks and stuff. This one is that new color, it's the screen color. I like that. And if we talk about the screen, I like the screen on this one. It's a Super AMOLED screen. It's a 6.4-inch screen that we are having. It's a good quality screen that they have put. It has all the regular stuff like auto brightness, also free, flicker-free options and stuff in the settings. So again, you can enable that. As you can see, low brightness and flicker free option and all those things are there. If you want to keep it at very low brightness, you can enable and toggle this. So all those things are there, and I didn't have to actually play around with the settings. At the default settings, the image that I was getting was good. So a good panel what they have used. And now if we talk about the processor, that's the big difference. I would say this one is having the new Snapdragon 730G SoC, and if I compare it with the Realme XT, as you can see, this is a Realme XT. This had the 712, and I ran Antutu on this one. If I switch on, as you can see, the XT got a score of 2,28,000, whereas this got a score of 2,65,000. So significantly faster, both in the CPU performance as well as the GPU. In fact, this X2 has the newer Adreno 618 GPU, and it's even good for gaming. And in general, day-to-day performance, I did not have any issues with this device. Again, it's the color over 6 that you are getting, and I did not have any issues of lagginess or anything while I was using the phone. So in that way, the processor handles everything, and it's a very powerful processor. It should suffice almost everyone. Even for gaming, actually, I had a good experience. Now, if we talk about how the phone feels in the hand, here also I feel Realme has done a good job. It feels comfortable in the hand, even though it's having that 6.4-inch screen, and it's slightly curved here from the edges. So if you hold it, it's comfortable. Again, yes, it's having a 6.4-inch screen, so it'll take a day or two to get used to it. But again, I like the fact that the weight balance is done well on this one, so it does not feel top heavy or bottom heavy. So in that aspect, they have done a good job. Now, if we talk about the cellular network reception, I tested this one with Airtel and Jio, and I tested it in Hyderabad, and I was in Goa for 2 days, so I tested it there, and I did not have any issues in terms of network reception. The network reception was fine. As you guys know, in this area, Airtel signal level is actually low. It's currently with Airtel. In fact, if I just remove this Wi-Fi, and yes, I could take calls over here, but again, it's the network reception in low signal area is just average. It's not bad, or it's one of the best I've seen. So in terms of network reception, I would say it's neutral, but I didn't have any issues regarding the network reception. Now moving to call quality, I'm happy to say that the earpiece on this is actually really good, and I could hear the calls very clearly, and it can actually go to very high loudness if you really want. So in that area also no issues, and the microphone quality is also good on this one. So the other parties never complained about call quality, so that was good. Now, as we're talking about sound and stuff, it has a single speaker over here, and I did take some calls with the speakerphone, and it was fine. In fact, I would say, though it's just having a single speaker, it's actually pretty loud. For example, let me play back my own video to give you an idea.
Hi
Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's have a relook at this Honor Band 5. So as you can see, the speaker is actually adequately loud, though it's a single speaker that we are getting on this one. Now moving to the 3.5mm headphone jack, nice to see that they still have that. And the audio quality was very good with this one. It also has Dolby Atmos, so you can enable it to get some better effects. But overall, I would say in terms of sound and even the output from the headphone jack, I was satisfied. Now, if we talk about the general performance, as I've told you, in general performance, I did not have an issue with this one. And also in terms of RAM management, the RAM management was fine on this phone. I didn't have particularly problems with RAM management with this device. As you can see, I'm just opening and closing some of the apps that I had opened earlier, and they are in memory. So the RAM management also has been done very well. In fact, in day-to-day operations, in general UI and stuff, I did not have an issue. Yes, it runs on ColorOS 6. So again, it's typical ColorOS. I hope that the next new version of ColorOS or the Realme OS comes on this one. And now if I have to also talk about gaming, I did test Call of Duty and even PUBG on this, and as expected, even at the highest settings, it played fine thanks to the new Adreno GPU and the Snapdragon 730G SoC. So if you're a gamer also, then you'll have a good experience. And now coming to the battery life is also good on this one. It's similar to what I was getting on the XT. I would say slightly more efficient, slightly more standby time I was getting, and that is due to the fact that the Snapdragon 730G SoC is based on 8nm process. To give you a very rough idea, I would say it should last for most users about 1.5 days, and even if you're sort of a heavy user, easily about full day without any issue. But one thing I really like on this device is that it comes out of the box with that 30-watt VOOC charger, which is significantly faster compared to other VOOC chargers that were coming with earlier Realme devices. For example, the XT came with 20 watt. So you're getting the 30-watt charger. So even topping it up was a very quick experience. When it was, let's say about 15, generally I charge it when it's around 15%, and in less than about 50 minutes, it was fully charged. So again, the charging speed has benefited quite a bit because of that VOOC 30-watt charger. And I'm happy that you don't have to buy that charger separately. It comes inside the box. Now let's also talk about the cameras. Again, as you can see, it also has that quad camera setup. The main camera is that 64 megapixel. Then we have that 8 megapixel ultra wide. We also have a 2 megapixel for macro and 2 megapixel for portrait. And the front facing is actually a new 32 megapixel shooter. And here are some of the sample shots that I have taken with this one. And as you can see, the outdoor shots come out brilliant in natural lighting. See the sharpness, they look so alive. Even the color reproduction, as you can see, was very good with skin tones and stuff. So in outdoors situation, I was thoroughly impressed with the camera, and also how it handles colors. So in that area, it was very, very good, as you can see. Now even moving to artificial and night lighting, as you can see here, I was surprised because here I've noticed quite a bit of improvement. And as you can see, these were taken in outdoor lighting night, then also they came out very good. Here I was in Goa, and as you can see, this was very, very low lighting, extremely low lighting, and here I enabled the night mode and stuff, and yes, as you can see, it did a good job. Yes, there is some noise because it's extremely low lighting, but overall I would say in this price range, in difficult lighting condition, low lighting condition, this one produced one of the best results that I have seen. Now even if you talk about the front facing camera, as you can see, the new 32 megapixel front facing camera is actually doing a very good job in my opinion. But even in situations at night when the lighting was not good, the front facing camera performed very well. So again, I have to say the camera setup, they have really worked on it, and they have also optimized it. Now talking about video, yes, you can shoot video with this one, and the good thing is that now they do allow shooting the video even in the ultra wide mode. But here are some of the video samples that I shot with this Realme X2. Shooting this video with the Realme X2, and I'm shooting this at 1080p, and as you can see, I'm just walking around so that you get an idea how is the stabilization. As of now, looks like the EIS is doing a good job, even though I'm walking just normally. But you let me know, what do you think about the video and the audio with this Realme X2. Shooting this video with the front facing camera, and again I'm doing the same thing using it handheld, just going against the light to give you an idea. Let me move to a shadowed area, and do let me know what do you feel about the video with the front facing camera. I think so it's also again doing that EIS, and because of that the image is zoomed in a little bit, so again you have to stretch your hands a little bit for these vlog style videos. But again, do let me know what do you feel about the video quality. So that was the camera performance, and it also has this in-display fingerprint scanner, as you can see. And again, as we have seen in earlier Realme devices, the performance is actually really good, as you can see. So no issues regarding that. The in-display fingerprint scanner is very, very responsive on this one. So these were the good things that I liked about this device. Now let's move to the cons. And the first con that I have is that, like other Realme devices, this also looks very similar to other Realme devices. In fact, as you can see, the Realme XT and this one, they look almost identical. So again, I feel Realme should work a little bit on the design and change the design a little bit. It's almost the same, as you can see, from the front and back. So this is something I hope they change in the future. Now, also coming to this display, it's an AMOLED screen, so you can have this always on display. In the settings you can enable it. It was not enabled, I enabled, but again this is half baked, I would say. Only for missed calls I get an icon of that, but for any other notification I simply don't get, and I don't know. And the fact is that this smartphone does not have any physical LED notification light. So you have this functionality. I hope with future updates or the next Android 10 update that is coming, they enhance this always on display and make it more functional. Now if we talk also about the Android version, as I've told you, it's still on Android 9, that is Android Pie on this one. I don't know, there are rumors that the next Realme is the ColorOS 7 is already on Android 10, so this might be getting that very soon. They said that they didn't announce exact date, but they said that it will get the Android 10 during the first quarter of 2020. So let's see what we get, and hopefully we get the rumored Realme OS with this one. But as of now, it's still on Android 9, that is Android Pie. Now if we also talk about the back, as I've told you, this I'm using it without the case, hence as you can see it's a fingerprint magnet. So again, you have to constantly wipe it if you're using it without the case, but if you use it with the case you won't have that issue. And also, as I'm using it without the case, as you can see, the cameras actually jut out. So if you just place it like this and press it, it is going to wobble on the table. So that is a small thing that I have noticed. And again, apart from that, another thing is that if you go to the camera interface, it's good, as I've told you, regular 1x, you also have this 2x, and you also have the 5x. But I would say don't use the 5x mode. For example, here are the sample shots. This was 1x, it's fine. The 2x is also fine. But notice when I go to the 5x, the picture is so pixelated. So I feel they have provided that 5x for just heck of it. It shouldn't be provided because it's not optical zoom. So just don't use that 5x mode. So guys, apart from that, it's actually a good smartphone. Particularly, I like the improvements in the camera, both the rear and the front-facing camera. And I have to just say nitpick also. I would say it starts at about 17,000, but for that you get that 4GB RAM variant. The ideal variant for me personally would have been the 6GB RAM variant with that 128GB of internal storage, and that is priced at about 19,000. I felt they could have been slightly aggressive, but that's what it is. But apart from that, I would say overall it's a very good Android smartphone, and certainly one of the more powerful Android smartphones under the 20,000 price band. And I would say you're getting the 730G SoC, and also you're getting some very good camera performance, and not to forget that 30-watt VOOC charger. So definitely a very good mid-range handset. That is the Realme X2. So guys, that was my review for this Realme X2. What do you guys think about the same? And if you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.